I told her her anniversary gift was stuck in shipping. The truth was worse. It was already in our apartment, and I had no idea where I hid it. Hey friends, please like this video and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you, it's all thanks to you. My girlfriend is the kind of person who remembers everything without trying. Birthdays, little details from stories I told her years ago, the names of coworkers I've mentioned once, the exact coffee order I like when I'm stressed, even the snack I said I missed from childhood. She's thoughtful in a way that feels almost unfair, like she has a secret superpower, and I'm over here trying to function with my brain running 12 different programs at once. I'm the guy who walks into a room and forgets why I'm there. I put my phone down and immediately start looking for it while it's still in my hand. I'm the human version of having too many browser tabs open, except half of them are frozen and one is playing music I can't find. And the worst part is, I'm not careless because I don't care. I'm careless because my brain misfiles things like it's doing paperwork in the dark. So when our 3-year anniversary was coming up, I promised myself I was going to do it right. I wasn't going to wait until the last minute. I wasn't going to panic buy something on the way home. I wasn't going to hand her a sad little gift bag and act like that's who I am. 2 months before our anniversary, I found the perfect gift. She has a favorite book, one of those comfort stories she rereads when life gets heavy. She talks about it the way people talk about a childhood home. It's not just a book to her, it's part of her. So when I stumbled across a vintage first edition copy online, I felt like I'd won the lottery. It wasn't cheap, it wasn't easy to find, and the second I bought it, I felt proud of myself in a way that's hard to explain. Like, look at me, I'm a capable adult boyfriend. I planned ahead, I did the thing. The only problem with buying a gift 2 months early is you have to hide it. Because my girlfriend is also the kind of person who cleans. Not in a dramatic, everything must be perfect, way more like she likes the calm that comes from resetting a space. She'll reorganize closets, clear out drawers, donate old clothes, move stuff around. If you leave something out, it will absolutely be discovered. So I needed a hiding spot. A spot so safe, so perfect, so genius, that there was no chance she'd accidentally find it. And this is where my story becomes the dumbest thing I've done in a long time. I picked a place that was so safe that I hid it from myself. At the time, I remember standing there with the book in my hands thinking, this is perfect. There's no way she'll ever look here, and there's no way I'll forget this, because it's such a smart hiding spot. I even had that little moment where you nod at your own decision like you're signing off on a plan. Then I put the book away, and my brain closed that tab. Fast forward to our anniversary. We decided to do a cozy night at home. Nothing loud, nothing crowded, just the two of us. I cooked dinner, her favorite kind, and I actually pulled it off. The chicken wasn't dry. The vegetables weren't mush. I even remembered the stupid detail she likes. Lemon in the water, not lime. We ate, we laughed. We talked about the last 3 years like we were flipping through a photo album. The first apartment, the weird neighbors, the road trip where we got lost and somehow ended up at a gas station with the best donuts of our lives. Then she got up and walked to the living room where a small gift bag was waiting. She handed it to me with this smile that always makes me feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the room. I opened it. It was a watch. Not just any watch, an incredible one. Classic, clean, something I'd never buy myself, and somehow exactly my style. And engraved on the back in small letters were our initials and the date. For a second, my throat tightened. Because she didn't just buy something, she chose it, she planned it, she made it ours. And I felt that wave of love, immediately followed by the first flicker of panic. Because it was my turn. I stood up too fast. I kissed her and said something like, I love it, it's perfect. And then I said, let me grab yours. I walked to the bedroom with confidence. And the second I crossed the doorway, my mind went blank. Not, where did I put it? Blank like a white screen, like someone pulled the plug. I stood there staring at the closet like it was supposed to answer me. I started checking the obvious places first, because that's what you do when you're trying to pretend you're not panicking. Top shelf of the closet, nothing. Under the bed, dust bunnies and a sock that didn't belong to either of us, nothing else. Nightstand drawer, chargers, receipts, a random pen, and absolutely no book. I opened the other drawer anyway, even though it made no sense. Still nothing. I checked the coat closet. Nothing. I checked a storage bin under the dresser. Nothing. Then my searching got less logical. I opened the toolbox because my brain went, maybe you put it somewhere safe. Why would I put a rare book in a toolbox? I don't know. Panic doesn't care about logic. I checked the linen closet. I checked behind the stack of towels like the book might be hiding vertically like a spy. I checked the suitcase we only use twice a year. I checked the hallway cabinet that mostly contains batteries and candles. And then this is the point where you understand how far gone I was. I checked the freezer. Because my mind flashed this memory of someone hiding something in the freezer in a sitcom, and apparently my brain decided that was a reasonable place to store a paper object. No book. Meanwhile, in the living room, my girlfriend was sitting there, smiling, waiting, probably thinking I was doing something cute like wrapping it or writing a note. And I was in the bedroom, silently spiraling. My heart was pounding. My hands were sweating. It felt like there was a countdown clock behind my eyes. I couldn't walk out there empty-handed after she gave me that engraved watch. I couldn't. So I did what a lot of people do when they're drowning and they don't want anyone to see it. I hid. I walked into the bathroom and shut the door and sat on the edge of the tub like I was about to confess something to a priest. Then I did the most insane thing I could have done in that moment. I started tearing the apartment apart, quietly. I wasn't throwing stuff. I wasn't making noise. I was doing that frantic, silent search where you're moving things fast but carefully so nobody hears it. Opening drawers, checking behind boxes, lifting couch cushions like you're searching for evidence. I told myself, it's in here. It has to be. You bought it. You brought it home. You hid it. It exists. But every time I opened a drawer and saw nothing, the panic got worse. My girlfriend knocked gently at one point and asked, "You okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll give me 1 minute." I sounded like a man who was absolutely not okay. I stared at my own face in the mirror and felt this hot wave of shame. Because it wasn't just that I misplaced the gift. It was that I was about to hurt someone I love because my brain is a mess. And I could already see it in my head, her smile fading, her trying to act like she didn't care, her telling me it's fine when it wasn't fine, her going to sleep later thinking he didn't even try. And that thought made me feel sick. I knew the right answer was to step out there and tell her the truth. "I bought you something, I hid it, I forgot where I hid it, I'm so sorry." But I couldn't make my mouth form those words, not in that moment. Because once you say it out loud, you can't take it back. And in my panic, I wanted a few more minutes to fix it before it became real. So instead, I lied. I walked out of the bathroom with what I hoped looked like calm. My girlfriend looked up at me, still smiling, still trusting. And I said, "Okay, so your gift is really special." She leaned forward a little, excited. I forced myself to keep going. I ordered it, but there was some issue with shipping. It's coming next week. The second the lie left my mouth, my stomach dropped. Because it wasn't a small lie. It wasn't a harmless exaggeration. It was a full-on fabricated story with a timeline attached to it. And the worst part, she didn't get upset. She didn't get suspicious. She didn't get cold. She was just kind. She smiled and said something like, "Hey, don't worry, the intention matters, I know you." And that somehow made me feel 1,000 times worse. Because she gave me the best possible response, and I didn't deserve it. That night we still had dessert, we still watched a movie, we still went to bed. She hugged me, kissed me, told me she loved me. And I laid there staring at the ceiling, feeling like a complete fraud. Because I wasn't waiting on shipping. I was waiting on my own stupidity. I had given myself a deadline. 1 week. 1 week until she asked, "Did you get a tracking number?" 1 week until she casually said, "What company is it coming from?" 1 week until my lie collapsed and became something bigger than it needed to be. The next morning, I woke up early and decided I was going to solve it like an adult. No more random searching. No more maybe it's in the freezer nonsense. I made coffee, I took a deep breath, and I started building a system. I grabbed a notebook and wrote down every possible category of hiding spot in our apartment. Closets, drawers, storage bins, suitcases, kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets, shoe racks, top shelves under furniture. I went room by room and checked each spot carefully, like I was doing an inventory for a move. If I opened a drawer, I emptied it fully and put things back in order. If I checked a bin, I took everything out and looked through it. I wasn't just hunting anymore, I was eliminating possibilities. By noon, I had checked almost everything and still had nothing. By mid-afternoon, I was back to feeling like I was losing my mind. Because this wasn't a tiny object, it wasn't a ring, it wasn't a USB drive, it was a book. How do you lose a book in a one-bedroom apartment? I kept thinking maybe I never brought it home. So I went through my email and found the order confirmation. There it was, delivered weeks ago, right to our address. Then I went through my bank statement. There it was again, the charge. The book existed, which meant it was here. And my brain had hidden it too well. That night my girlfriend asked casually, "So, any updates on the shipping?" And I had to swallow hard and say, "Not yet." I hated myself a little more. The next day, I got desperate enough to call my best friend. Not because he could help me search physically, but because sometimes you need someone to ask you the obvious questions you're too stressed to think of. I told him the situation, and he laughed so hard I thought he might choke. Then he said, "Okay, where do you hide things when you don't want her to find them?" And I said, "I don't know, somewhere safe." He said, "That's not a place, that's a concept. Think like you, not like a normal person. Where would you hide something and then forget it?" That hit me. Because my brain doesn't file things in normal folders. My brain files things by vibes. So I started thinking about my original mindset 2 months ago. What was I doing that day? What room was I in? What did I see? What did I touch? I remembered I'd been cleaning the living room that afternoon. Not deep cleaning, just moving some stuff around. And I remembered opening the small ottoman we use as storage. It's one of those pieces of furniture where you lift the top and there's space inside. We keep random stuff in there. Old cables, board games, extra blankets, a set of candles we never light, and the instruction manuals for appliances we'll never read. I walked over to it slowly, like I was approaching a wild animal. I lifted the top. I stared inside. And at first I didn't see it. Then I moved a folded throw blanket. And there it was. A wrapped package flattened slightly under the weight of the blanket, hiding in plain sight like it had been there the whole time, because it had. I just stood there for a full 10 seconds, frozen. I didn't feel relief right away. I felt humiliation. Because of course I put it there. Of course I did. It's safe, it's hidden, it's clever. It's also the first place my brain forgets because it's not a daily use spot, it's a storage cave. I pulled it out and held it like it was evidence in a crime scene. Then I sat down and realized I had a choice. I could pretend the shipping story was real. I could walk out to my girlfriend, hand her the book, and say, "It came early." I could even add some fake story about the delivery. And the temptation was real, because the lie would disappear the moment she had the gift, right? But it wouldn't actually disappear. Because I would still know I lied. And if I can lie this smoothly about something dumb, what message does that send about bigger things? So I decided to do the hardest thing, tell the truth. That night after dinner, I asked her if we could talk. Her face shifted immediately into concern, like she thought something was wrong. And I said, "Okay, before you panic, nothing is wrong like that, but I need to confess something and I'm embarrassed." She sat down, looked at me, and said, "Okay." I took a breath and said, "I did buy you a gift. I bought it 2 months ago. I hid it so you wouldn't find it, and then I forgot where I hid it." Her eyebrows went up. I kept going before I could chicken out. On our anniversary, when I went to get it, I couldn't find it. I panicked. I didn't want to ruin the night, and I didn't want you to feel like I didn't care, because I do care. So I told you it was delayed in shipping. Her expression didn't turn angry immediately, but I saw the hurt flash through it, quick, controlled, like she was processing. I said that was wrong. I shouldn't have lied. I should have just told you the truth, and I'm sorry. I reached over and grabbed the package I'd hidden behind the couch, and I placed it on the table. And I found it. It was in the ottoman, under a blanket, like an idiot. For a long moment, she didn't say anything. Then she looked at the gift. Then she looked back at me. And she said, "So, you didn't forget me. You forgot your hiding spot." And I nodded because yes, exactly. She exhaled slowly, like she was letting go of tension. And then she did something that made my chest tighten again. She started laughing. Not mean laughter, not mocking, more like relief mixed with disbelief. "You checked the freezer, didn't you?" she asked. I stared at her. She pointed at my face. "You have that look, you checked the freezer." And I said, "I checked the freezer." She covered her mouth, laughing harder. Oh my God. Then she got quiet again and reached across the table and touched my hand. "I'm not mad that you forgot where you hid it," she said. "I'm a little hurt that you lied, but I also get why you did it." I nodded. I felt like garbage the second I said it. She squeezed my hand. "Next time, tell me, even if it's embarrassing." "I will," I said, and I meant it. She picked up the gift and opened it carefully. When she saw what it was, her face softened in this way that made every bit of stress worth it. She ran her fingers over the cover like it was fragile. Then she looked up and said, "You did so good." And I felt this wave of relief crash through me so hard I almost teared up. Because the whole time, my fear wasn't really about the gift. It was about being seen as someone who doesn't try. Someone who doesn't value her. Someone who doesn't care enough to do the basics. And in that moment, she was telling me she saw the effort, even through the chaos. We talked for a long time after that. Not in a dramatic, relationship on the line way, more like a practical, loving conversation about how my disorganization spills into our life sometimes. I told her I've always been like this, that I hate it, that I'm scared it'll eventually wear her down. She told me she doesn't need perfection, she needs honesty and follow-through. So we made a plan that sounds almost silly, but it's already saving me. We picked one place in the apartment that is now officially the gift spot. One drawer, one box, one location. If I buy something early, it goes there. And I put a note in my phone that literally says, "Check gift spot." Not a vague reminder. A direct instruction. We also laughed about the ottoman thing for days, and honestly, I deserved it. But the biggest change was internal. Because I learned something important. When you lie to protect someone from disappointment, you're still choosing dishonesty, and dishonesty has its own consequences. I could have turned a small mistake into a big trust issue. Instead, I took the hit to my ego and told the truth. And my girlfriend met me with kindness. Not because the lie was okay. Because she loves me. And I'd like to be worthy of that. So yeah, that's the story of how I hid my girlfriend's anniversary gift so well that I almost destroyed my own relationship over it. If you've ever done something this stupid, or if you're the organized one dating someone like me, drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm honestly curious how other people handle the memory disaster problem without turning your partner into your reminder app.